David, nice to see you. Probably best place to start is actually sort of news away from strictly your remit this week, which was, the confirmation the club have said slight change in terms of Ben coming in from the start of next week, and confirmation that Stuart's final game is this Saturday. Just initially, give us your reaction to that.
Yeah, obviously I was involved or updated in this process. So Ben will be in next week for the first time. I will for sure meet him in the international break. I'm in constantly touch with him. I've spoken with him yesterday or the day before yesterday by phone. So this is the situation which we have. Obviously, it's Stuart's last game. A long period goes over. Everybody knows how much I rate him. I think he has done fantastic for this football club. If you are here once a week, see how everything changed here at Colney. What they've done it's just amazing, and I really wish him from the bottom of my heart the very best for everything what is ahead of him.
Yeah, I mean, now we can probably talk about it a little bit more now, because we know Saturday and then that's the end of it. It isn't this kind of period that he might be here and then he's not here. But I've never asked you about it. I mean, has it been a difficult spell for you? Because you talked about it there, your relationship, and really he's brought you here to try and repeat the success you had at Huddersfield. And then 3 months down the track, I think he basically decided he needed to move on. It wasn't going to be for him. Was that not a difficult situation for you to try and manage?
To be honest, the truth is, when we had the conversation in January before I joined, we discussed the possibility that this be something what can happen in the long-term, medium-term future, that he at one point will leave this football club. So there was no clear time frame or anything, but I was from the beginning aware that this is something which maybe can happen. This is why obviously I was surprised then about the moment when it happened, but that it will happen at one moment. I was always clear that this could be the case. This is why it wasn't a big problem for me. I think now, then at the latest on Monday, for all of us, it's to look forward as well, to welcome Ben, try to make it as easy as possible for him. For sure, a big job which he goes into after what he has done at Arsenal. But I'm really looking forward to work with him and to give him all my support which I can, to give him all the help which he maybe needs at the beginning. I know how it is if you come into a new environment, but as I said, I've spoken with him a few times. It's a good guy, good character, and I'm looking forward to work with him.
Yeah, I mean, you've answered that twice now. It wasn't just that initial meeting. I think you said pre-Coventry you'd sat down with him for 2 hours and it felt like maybe in a lot of areas you were on the same page. Since then, maybe in the last week or two, you've had a lot more dialogue by the sound of it with him.
Yeah, of course. We've spoken about the situation. Obviously, he as well, from the distance, looked on it. He judged it quite well, to be fair. Everything what he's seen so far from the outside. He as well said, come on, keep going. You have all the support, which I feel from all sides, to be fair. I know we have a very difficult period in terms of the results. No one is happy. It's not what we expect from ourselves. We know that we have to do better. But I feel the backing from everywhere. I had a phone call last week with Delia. She called me, Delia and Michael, they called me the first time where they as well really said what I've known anyway, how much they back me, how they really see what kind of a injury crisis which we have since a longer period. So they see the big picture, why we are in a situation which we are, and this is nice. This is how it should be, as if you own a football club, that you have to see the reasons why situations can happen, situations which we like to solve, situations where we are desperate to change it, and this was quite good as well, even if I felt it the whole time or the last weeks anyway.
I mean, that's interesting. You sort of said though that Delia's actually reached out to you as well. I mean, in the statement when they confirmed that Ben and Stuart were shortening their periods, there was a reaffirmation of the support for the staff and the players going into a big game this weekend. Zoe, her programme column last weekend, support for you and your coaching staff, and talked on the injuries as well. Do you maybe you don't need that in this period, but does it just give you that reassurance? Is it nice to hear?
Now, listen, at the end of the day, what's the meaning of reassurance? I'm in this business a long period, and I know we all together are desperate and we all together need results. Me as a manager, as well as part of this group. It's great to be in a football club, and I said this when we had a very, very good period. This is a very, very good football club with good people who look around the corner, who look forward, who are very progressive, and this is now how they react in a difficult period, exactly how I hoped and how I expected that a football club like this reacts. And obviously we like together pay back as quick as we can, but it's good that the people who takes responsibility see the big picture, how we came in a situation which we are, and obviously as well they ask questions how we like to go out of this situation, which is totally right, but in general, as I said, we are very close together all here in this football club to try to change it, and I think this is the first thing which you have to produce if you like to change it, and obviously we all together like to change it, that we really are tied together and pull in the same direction, and this is exactly what we do in every department as a whole football club.
I mean, unfortunately, you've had to bat away in these last period of presses, questions about your future, and you reiterated, you'd never resign. The subtext of those answers you've given today is that there's not been any discussions this week about you specifically and your future. It would have been. No,
there are. There are discussions about how we were able to come in a situation like we are. I think the answers are given quite a lot, and what we can do to go out of this as quick as possible. And that my position maybe is not as strong as it was 8 weeks before. This is clear as well, because this depends on results, and nobody knows what happens in 6 weeks, 8 weeks, 9 weeks time. If you look back 9 weeks, it looked totally different, and it's our aim to turn it back to where we were a few weeks ago.
Yeah. So I mean, there's no part of you fears that Cardiff could be the last game for you?
I think if you are in this business and have a job like mine, fear is never a help. So be focused on your day-to-day work. Try to be as calm as you can to give everyone the reassurance that they have qualities and they are good. I think this is a big thing from my point, what I have to do to give the players the trust and the belief which I have in them, even if one thing is totally clear as well. At one moment when they cross the right line, whoever stays outside, it's up to them. They win the football matches, and hopefully they will do on Saturday.
Yeah, and I mean, on that point with the players, Chris Sutton is well known in these parts, and he's well known in the media. Now, he was very strong this week. A lot of sympathy for you. He feels, without naming specific players, you think some of the application hasn't been right. That there's been times maybe when they've let you down. I mean, I know it's difficult for you to talk on that, but do you feel there are games in this period where you would have expected more from this group of players, even with the injuries?
Hopefully my English is good enough. So if someone says someone lets me down, this means for me someone does it on purpose. And this is not how it is. This is not how it is. For 100%, I duty my team, my players, with everything what I have, like they are my own children. I duty them for 100%. So this is why I disagree that someone lets me or lets the backroom staff, Narcisse, Christoph, Yuzi, whoever, down. This is not how it is, because it's not on purpose. Do I expect in certain situations more from individual in terms of the desire to be more aggressive, to really fight and work against this tough period? Yeah, I do in certain situations, and I let them know what my expectations is, and they know as well. This is the first thing which you have to deliver if you like to come out of this situation, and this is hopefully what we do, the right step in the right direction on Saturday. But they don't let me down. This is not how I feel.
Yeah. Just one more on this, and then promise we'll move on. I mean, you're talking about the noise and trying to keep that away. How easy is that? Because even now, and I mean, I'm sure you're an experienced coach, it's not even probably come on your radar, but because you're getting asked about your future, inevitably there's stories now about candidates potentially being lined up, names being thrown in there. Not for you, because you're an experienced coach, but your players. Is it a concern to keep that away from them, that type of noise?
Yeah, to be fair, I'm totally away from it because I don't read anything or be involved in anything. This is why, for me, it's quite simple. Apart from the conversations I have with you, I don't live in the outside of this Norwich City Football Club world, and this is why it's quite easy for me. Obviously, everyone who is strong in social media or in the media in general, for sure, gets a lot of information. And what does it make with someone? I learned from myself a lot of years ago, maybe more than 10 years ago, that when I was in social media or in the media, it cost me more energy than it gave me, and this is why 10 years ago or whenever I decided I will not be in this world, because it doesn't give me energy. It costs me more energy, and this is how everyone for himself has to decide. Do I get some positivity, some energy out of it? Then I use it. Everything what costs me energy, I will not use.
So, okay. Moving on, injuries. How are we looking in terms of the group who were available last weekend, Blackburn?
So Forshi is out. He has a slight hamstring injury. Will be out till the beginning of December. Anyone else looks fine after last game. Obviously, Duffy is suspended, as you know. But everyone else from last game came through quite well. Johnny Rowe got a knock, but I think he will be fine.
In terms of the centre-backs, as you say, no Duffy, we know no Ben Gibson. Has Grant Hanley come out of last Friday? And just in terms of this weekend, what would be his thoughts in terms of, is he an option?
Yeah, we will see. He played his first 21 minutes, his first minutes in the under 21 last Friday. So we will see how we will progress. Will he be involved tomorrow? Will he be involved in our tomorrow for the under 21 in the game, or will he be involved with us? We will see. We will decide what's best for him. Obviously, he is now in training since roughly 4 weeks with the first game. We will see what's best for him.
Clearly, the other player who's in this centre-back equation will be Danny Barty. He's as yet, maybe in the league, certainly had limited opportunity. I mean, is it been one of those you just felt he hasn't quite done enough, maybe to nudge out Shane or Ben or last week?
No, to be fair, first and foremost, Danny Barty is an unbelievable professional. He had not the best and the easiest period since he came to us. Was suspended in the cup, or was cup tie, was not able to play, came in a period where the centre-backs looked quite stable. Then obviously last weekend I picked Jaden in front of him, which is a decision which for sure everyone can discuss. Was this the right one? So I explained him why I did what I did, and how he reacted was just great. So I'm very happy to have him in the building, very experienced, so I can close my eyes and put him in the starting 11, and I would have not any concerns, as experienced as he is and as he trained with us. So we will see how we will decide that with Gibbo's injury, Duffy's suspension. We are short on the centre-back position. I think this is quite obvious, but we will find a proper solution to be competitive on Saturday.
Just one more on the fitness issues. Has Longy gone and had the second surgery?
Yeah, he got his surgery. He had to have the surgery, as I said. Again, this means he will be out till Christmas, till the beginning of New Year. This is how the prognoses are at the minute. But to be totally honest, I think something serious you only can say in the next 3 to 4 weeks after he recovered and had made his first steps in the gym and in the grass as well. If hopefully this surgery solved his issues.
Okay. Just a couple more if I can on Cardiff specifically. You'll know better than me. Very strong it seems at home this season. I don't think they've lost there since first week of the season. Does that underline the scale of the challenge this weekend? I know you'll say it's about you and your team and what you do, but a very difficult opponent at home.
Yep, different form at home than away. Scored a lot of goals from set pieces. Are still physically, but play more football than maybe in recent years a Cardiff City side has done. It's a test, it's a proper challenge, but for us, to be fair, as I said, we know what is in front of us and we know what first and foremost we have to do right to be competitive and to have the chance to get some points out of this game, and this is our aim. This will not change.
And finally, obviously, it's stating the obvious, the confidence isn't going to be where it was at the start of the season when you're on a run like this, but are there other aspects that you want to see this weekend that maybe haven't been evident enough? I mean, you talked about maybe the pressing, you got a little bit of pressing wrong last weekend, so depending on what approach you go, but is it just that clarity and that anybody who goes over that white line knows exactly what you want from them and can do it individually and collectively as well?
I think we don't have a problem that the guys don't know what we like to have from them in ball possession and without ball possession. At the end of the day, it's all about how you execute it, how focused you are, how concentrated you are, how much desire you show on the pitch every single second. This is the first thing which you have to do right. And obviously, yes, in the one or other situation you don't get your press right, but this is what we have done at the beginning of the season as well. But what we've done in the beginning of the season much more better as well. Once we got it right, and we had a lot of very good turnovers high up the pitch against Blackburn, what we made out of the situation, and there we were not clinical enough as well. So I think we should be still focused on both how we can continue to score and for sure as well how we can solve not to concede as many goals as we have done in the past.
That's very good luck, sir.
Thank you.
Thanks, buddy. Andy? David. Just going back to Stuart leaving, how do you think he should be remembered at this club? Because he's had a lot of criticism recently. Do you think some fans have got short memories, or do you think that's fair?
Listen, at the end of the day, I think if someone stays here nearly 7 years, or not here in general, if someone stays for 7 years in a football club, I think he, in a position like he has, this person, whoever it is, has done a lot of things right. Otherwise, you are not able to survive as long in a position like he has. And everyone who, and to be fair, I haven't seen this trainings facilities 7 years ago, but everyone who told me how it was here 7 years ago and how it is, this is just from another planet. So I know a lot of trainings facilities, and I know that this is one of the best if I compare them with the top teams in Germany, and I don't speak about the bottom teams in the Bundesliga. And if I compare them with some of the Premier League teams as well, this is just top. And unfortunately, not everybody understands, but this is the truth as well, that a proper training facility produces talents. And obviously talents will produce value, and obviously value will gives you money, and money dictates the game. And this is why what they built here and what they created here is so strong for the next 10, 15 years. And this is maybe what the one or other does not understand. And I got it. It's a result-driven business, and this is important. And you have to get your results totally true. Don't get me wrong. I know this. But you as well have to make sure to create value. And even us at the minute, in this difficult run which we are, we still have a medium-term vision as well, how we can produce and create value for the future for this football clubs. For this football club, and this is, I think, how I always understood my role as well. Yeah, results, win games, try to get as high up the table as you can, but as well make sure that this football club can produce players, can produce value, can produce money in the future. And this is something how I always interpreted my role as well, and especially Stuart in his role. I think if you've seen how much transfer fee they generated in his period for a football club like ours. This is just great, and this is why I think, even if I was only here now in the last 10 or 11 months, and this were maybe not the most enjoyable for him personal, and I don't think he deserved what he gets. I think in general, if he or anyone looks back on this nearly 7 years, maybe they only understand it in 10 years' time how great it was what they've done in the last 7 years. And he obviously played a main part in this period, and this is how I judge it.
Interesting. With that message that you had from Delia and Michael, the phone conversation, how much did that mean to you, and how much has the support from the board in general meant to you? Because as you said, the results haven't been great, have they?
To be totally honest, it meant a lot to me. I've known from conversations with other people that I have the fully support of the owners and the board, but I think Delia picked the phone up at the right moment with Michael together, and it meant a lot to me to have this conversation, to have this longer chat, to hear their opinion, why we are in a situation where we are. So it's not about only to say, David, we back you, we believe in you. This is not what the most important thing for me in a conversation like this is. It's as well important that they see more or less exactly how I see the reasons why we came into situations like this, and the reasons why we had a start like we had as well. And to be so clear, so smart and intelligent, it's just great to have owners like this, and it only shows that they care about the club and that they are able to see the big picture. But again, we need results. This is for sure as well, and it's still a result-driven business. This is where we live in, and this is obviously what we are altogether desperate to produce. But it was a very good conversation which we had.
Yeah, good. Going back to the current run of form, do you? I'm just trying to think how to phrase it. I'll move on. Going to the Cardiff game, sorry. With that game coming up, as Paddy touched upon, they're very, very strong at home. Do you feel you can kind of play on the fact that you're going to be the underdogs and basically no one will expect you to win?
I've never really thought about maybe before games you think about underdog or favorite or whatever, but if it starts, there is something which we all together in this business have in our inside of us. You like to win games. And this is why it's irrelevant if you are the underdog or not. So we are aware about the home record, but what is much more interesting is for me that we are aware about how they attack and how they defend, because like every team, there are spaces, areas where you are vulnerable, and these are the areas which we hopefully can execute.
And you're obviously a very experienced coach. You've had a lot of success and a lot of negative moments as well. How do you compare this current period that you're going through compared to other points in your career? Has it been one of the toughest?
I had a lot of great moments, but I had a lot of moments where I had to suffer as well. What is always the same is, at the end of the day, it's not about me, isn't it? It's about the players. The players win the games, and obviously that I'm one of the persons or the person who deals with the public, with you guys from the media. This is the truth, but at the end of the day, it's not about me. It's about how we can turn it, and how we can come back to the performance and the level which we had at the beginning of the season for quite a long period as well, where everybody was able to see what this team is capable of doing if all the players are healthy and the squad is together. And this is exactly where we like to go back to. And
just a final question, looking at the bigger picture, at the start of the season, the objective was to try and get in the playoffs, wasn't it? That was the aim. Do you still feel that's the case, or are you looking over your shoulder worried about relegation a bit?
No, I don't look behind me. I only look forward. And it sounds silly, but I think there's still 75% of the season ahead of us. And we still have to be focused on our performance and our day-to-day work. I think it makes no sense now to look so far ahead for promotion or anything like this. Let's make sure we look on the next game, how we can perform, how we can get the first points again on the board, how we can get a clean sheet again. So there are so many things where we are playing for on Saturday, and this is where we have to make sure that we not only play for, that we fight for it.
Brilliant. Thanks, David. Good luck.
Thank you.
All right, thank you, everybody.
Thanks, David.